Hey, if you enjoy the stories on my channel, please support me by subscribing. Your subscription motivates me to keep creating content. Thank you so much. Now, let's get into today's story. I still remember the exact way his eyes looked when I said the words. Not angry, not shocked, just hollow, like something inside him had died quietly. "I love someone else," I whispered, and he just nodded, then turned around and walked out of my life. But that wasn't how it started. Not even close. When I met Ethan, I was 23 and wildly in love with the idea of being in love. He was smart, charming in a quiet way, and gave me the kind of attention I'd always dreamed of, not flashy or over the top, just steady, present, calm. The kind of love that felt safe. And for a long time, that was enough. That was all I wanted. We moved in together after a year, got a dog, decorated the apartment with shared dreams. Mason jars, bookshelves, travel plans pinned to the fridge. But slowly, something inside me started to ache. It wasn't Ethan's fault. He didn't cheat, didn't lie, didn't change. And maybe that was a problem. Everything stayed the same. So same that I felt like I was suffocating in routine, like I was watching my life play on a loop and couldn't find the remote to stop it. Then came Liam. It started stupidly, an email thread at work. We were on different floors, different departments, but somehow we always ended up talking. First about spreadsheets, then about music, then books, then childhood trauma. I wasn't trying to fall for him. I told myself that a dozen times. But every time I laughed at one of his dumb jokes or caught his eyes lingering a second too long, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. I felt seen. Not safe, alive. I knew what was happening. I knew I was slipping. I started to resent Ethan for things that never used to bother me. The way he asked what I wanted for dinner, like it was a decision we made every night of our lives. The way he kissed me on the forehead instead of the mouth when he left for work. The way he never asked how I felt, only how my day was. I tried to ignore it. I really did. But one Friday night, after too much wine at a team dinner, Liam offered to drive me home. I should have said no. Should have called a cab. Should have walked. But I got in his car. And when we stopped in front of my building, neither of us moved. His hand brushed mine on the center console. I didn't pull away. And when he leaned in, I let him kiss me. That kiss cracked something open in me. Something I tried to bury for months. We didn't sleep together that night. I went inside, stood in the bathroom, and stared at my reflection for what felt like hours. Ethan was already asleep. I crawled into bed beside him, heart thudding like I just committed a crime. Because I had. And I did it again. And again. Every time I told myself it would be the last. That I would break it off with Liam. That I would come clean to Ethan. But I never did. I was too much of a coward to leave and too selfish to stop. The thing is, Liam never asked me to choose. He never pressured. He never told me he loved me. Not even once. But I knew. The way he looked at me said everything. And I loved him too. It hit me like a punch to the chest one morning when I woke up beside Ethan and realized I didn't want to be there. I wanted to wake up next to Liam. It was a quiet Sunday. Ethan made pancakes. He put blueberries in them because he remembered I liked them that way. I looked at the plate and nearly started crying. Because he didn't deserve this. He didn't deserve me. So I did the one brave thing I could. That night I sat him down. My hands were shaking. He looked worried. "I have to tell you something," I said. His face went still. "I've met someone else." He didn't speak. I didn't mean to. I tried to fight it, but it's been going on for a while. And I love him. Silence. I waited for yelling, for tears, for anything. But Ethan just stared at me. Then he stood up, nodded once, walked to the closet, pulled out a duffel bag, and began packing. No questions. I whispered. "No," he said. "I think I've known." That broke me more than any shouting could have. He left that night. Quietly. I stood by the window and watched him drive away. I thought I'd feel free, like I could finally breathe. But all I felt was empty. I didn't run to Liam. Not right away. I needed to sit in the wreckage I created. I moved into a sublet, ate cereal for dinner, cried at commercials. Liam texted, called, asked if I was okay. I told him I needed time, and for a while, I thought maybe we'd finally be together, that something beautiful could grow out of all that destruction. But when I finally reached out weeks later and said I was ready, his response was a single sentence. I've met someone too. I stared at the message for hours. He didn't owe me anything. He had waited. He had been patient. But I was too late. I wanted to scream, to beg, but I didn't. I just said, I hope she makes you happy. And he never replied. It's been a year now. Ethan and I haven't spoken. I heard through mutual friends that he moved to Colorado, got a dog, started hiking. Liam moved cities too, deleted his social media. I live alone, still in the same sublet. The cereal tastes a little better these days. Sometimes I wonder if I ever really loved either of them, or if I was just chasing something to fill the emptiness inside me. I told Ethan I love someone else. But maybe the truth is I didn't even love myself enough to be honest.